I just like to get it done. Like at the end of the day, I just want to be a winner. Like that is my goal, is to win games and to win championships. Like I'm super thankful for the individual accolades. But I do know at the end of the day, the thing that you remember the most are the people that you go on these journeys with. And I want to enjoy that.
I just feel like there's so many different topics that we can talk about, but I wanted to start with, I'm just so excited for you because you are an all-star. And it's just so exciting to me because, you know, you're a player that I look at that is like quiet excellence. You know, what was it like when you found out you were going to become an all-star again?
It was pretty surreal. I think I've kind of said like time and time again, because me coming into this league, I wasn't quite sure where I would be or how it would pan out. So for me, it's kind of a short career so far. So the 5th year within the Mystics, it feels kind of surreal to be a 2-time All-Star. Like that's crazy to me that I even get to put my name kind of in the same sentence as All-Star. But it's very humbling, and I'm just thankful to be a part of an organization that has allowed me to grow. I think as much as it is about your work and your support system, it's also about falling within the right place and within the right system.
Yeah, and it's pretty impressive. In the last week alone, searches on the internet for the WNBA All-Star roster have increased 550% in the US. You know, what is it like for you to be part of this just excitement and buzz around the WNBA?
It's fun. We've worked hard to get here, and I know a lot of people don't really notice the behind the scenes stuff that WNBA players do. And they don't necessarily understand the work that was put into the WNBA before visibility became an important thing for us. So it feels really good because we always talk about leaving people in places better than we found them. And so I hope that I'm doing that in some type of way for the W, whether that's visibility, community work, or even just skill set.
All right, let's talk to you about all three of those. That's exactly where I wanted to go next. Is when I covered you at Texas and kind of your first couple of years in the WNBA, I would have said you're a quiet player. Mm-hmm. And then something happened in the WNBA bubble. What has allowed you to find your voice? Because you are now an advocate and a passionate vocal leader in the W.
Yeah. I think it's kind of one of those things where you're kind of just thrown to the fire. I was the only returning starter for us when we came into the bubble, and Coach T was basically like, all right, ball's in your hands. I was just kind of like, well, I've been standing in the corner for the past, 2 years. So I was kind of thrown into the fire of it. And then I started to kind of see the respect level that my teammates had for me, and just kind of when certain topics were being held, that certain eyes would look towards me. And it wasn't necessarily that I didn't believe in myself. It was just that a matter of me actually speaking on the things that I already knew in my heart and knew in my mind. And I wanted to be that voice for our team. I feel like I'm pretty neutral when it comes to a lot of situations, and I have the ability to, I guess you could say, mediate. And I try to bring in everybody's feelings and opinions to the table so that we can be kind of on the same page. And so I think my team respected me for that, and they allowed me to be one of their leaders in the bubble that year.
I always will look back on you. I felt like we had a really special, precious moment, and I'm going to cry just talking about it. But like, really difficult night when the players voted not to play after yet another senseless police shooting, and you had to come on live TV and react and talk about it. And I'll just never forget your poise and composure. And I thank you. You are so special.
We need to understand that these moments are so much more bigger than us. And I really appreciate my team for not only having my back, but saying what they feel. It's hard to say that type of stuff in these moments. It's hard to be vulnerable in these moments. But I think, like Nneka kind of said earlier, if we do this unified as a league, it looks different. Because this league is close to, if not over 80% of Black women. We have cousins, we have brothers, we have sisters, mothers, everyone. We matter. And I think that's important. I think people should know that. And I'm tired of telling people that. I know I matter. We know we matter. I'm tired of telling people that.
Thank you, Holly. I appreciate it.
Gosh, now I'm all misty. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
It's fine.
Let's talk about some other things about you off the court. You had a really intriguing off season because you were playing in Ukraine. Mm-hmm. Tell me what happened while you were playing overseas in Ukraine this season.
Yeah, so I wasn't over there during the war. During the climax of the war, should I say, or the downfall, honestly, because it's a downfall. But I wanted to say I left in February for FIBA qualifiers, and I had opted to not return because I was just honestly scared because of the talk about how Russia was bringing more I guess, more ammo, more soldiers and different things to the border of Ukraine. And they had actually moved our team to Bulgaria for the remainder of our Euro Cup season. And while we were in Bulgaria, the war had broke out. So basketball didn't really matter at all, because it was a matter of them focusing on trying to like get their families to where they need to be, just trying to do everything that they can to make sure that their families were okay while they were trying to finish a job, I guess you could say. But it's hard for me to talk about because it's not like my story, it's not my history, it's not my family. And so when people kind of ask me to talk about it, I would rather, if they wanted to, contact one of my teammates, because I think it's their story to tell. I think it's their lives. And so for me, I definitely like feel for them, and I want them to be able to use their voice to get their story out, because they're actually Ukrainian, and I feel like they need to tell the truth about what's actually happening right now in their own country.
It's important. I think you probably also have a unique perspective on what's happening with Brittney Griner as she is wrongfully detained. You've been overseas, you've lived that life. What are your thoughts about how Brittney Griner's situation is unfolding and what needs to change?
It's completely heartbreaking. And for me, she's been over there for so long. Like, she's known worldwide. Everyone knows who she is. She's played overseas for umpteen amount of years with her Russian team as well as with the Olympic team. And so for this to be happening to someone who is well-versed and well-known with Russian culture, it's kind of mind-boggling to me. And it sucks because out of all the things for them to hold her for, I just feel like it's not, I'm gonna choose my words like very wisely here. I just think that she should be home. I think if there's something that they want her to be held for, she needs to be here. Like, she needs to be at home. She needs to be safe. She needs to have a peace of mind. Her family needs to have contact with her. Like, that is ridiculous to me that her family has not heard her voice. Like, that, it's absurd. It's absurd. Like, and I don't know, honestly, what I could do more as a player besides send my praise for her and write to her as much as I can, because like, I don't understand how the government works in that aspect, and it's frustrating because it's stuff that you want to do, but it's like, what can you do? And so my biggest thing is just try to keep her visual, make sure that people know her story, because a lot of people still don't really understand what's going on. And I think the biggest thing that people need to know is that she's not home.
I had a video on my phone of interviews I've done with Brittney Griner through the years. And the other day, I just went back and started rewatching videos just so I could hear her voice again. Like, we miss her, we want her back. And I know we will all be here to support her when she gets back. Okay, I feel like we're talking about a lot of heavy topics. So let's do some fun stuff. What is the most fun, unique, off the court thing that you do? What's something quirky or unusual about you?
I don't know if it's quirky, but I'm a huge like nature person. So anytime I can like get outside, like go hiking, climb some rocks, like just be outside. Like, I love to be outside, be in nature, and be around water. I'm not sure if that's like quirky, but like, that's my thing. Normally I need like 2 days off to do that because I get a little tired, but that's my thing for sure.
What have you done around DC? Give me a nature walk or something cool you've done around DC.
Yeah, so DC has some beautiful national parks, one being Shenandoah Park, which is, I don't know how long that drive is, but it's beautiful, especially kind of like right around springtime. They also have Great Falls Park. And then other things I do in DC is eat. Like, I love food. So anytime I can find like a different type of cuisine, I just found a Turkish spot actually not too far from where I stay. So I'm excited about that.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get you. Have you gone to the Great Indian Place? It's by the arena downtown. Oh my God. Rakesh. Oh, I gotta look it up. But it's the best Indian. I'm gonna send you there. It's so good. I went there last time I was there for a game.
Okay, cool. I'll try it out.
You'll love it. Okay. Best food spot. What's your favorite unique place you found there?
It's a place that I've been to a number amount of times. It's called Morisco 1133. I want to say it's like Latin seafood type cuisine. Yeah, I know. It doesn't sound like the two things would go together, but it's honestly probably, I can eat it every day, honestly.
Okay, next time I'm in DC, that's where I'm headed. Thank you for the rec. Let's see, what else? What else matters to you in your life? What else do you do with your free time?
Community work for sure. I think I'm learning how to get into the community in DC. And I say learning because I just didn't want to throw myself into it and be like, oh, we'll do this we can do this, or we like just throw resources at people. My biggest thing is kind of figuring out what people need and where the resources could be best fitted. So I'm learning about the DC community, learning about the youth in Ward 8, and trying to figure out what would best help them along their journey. And so I just don't want to be one to be like, all right, here's some coats. It's like, we have coats, we need socks, you know? So I just want to make sure.
What do they need, right?
Exactly. I just want to make sure that they get what they need. And then with being a part of an organization like Monumental, like there's limitless resources and they want to help. They want to be a part of the community. So I feel like as a player, if I can be that driver and kind of be that connecting source, I think there's endless opportunity here for us to do good in DC.
You've done some work. I know you were starting the last time we talked about this with the Boys and Girls Club. Anything cool you're doing there that you could share with us?
Some stuff I can share. Some of it is still in the works. But I actually just had my first meeting with them where I got to just speak to the kids and kind of give them different things. Like yesterday we talked about building confidence and how do we do that. And it's like with overcoming adversity and knowing who you are as a person, which is big about self-awareness. So just being able to kind of like talk to them about all the things that I've learned over my 25 years of life. And so I've had a ton of people pour into me. So I just want to reiterate the information and give out those small tools because I think they're super important, especially for young girls like middle school to high school age.
Yeah, that's when we all felt so dang awkward, right? Like,
Exactly.
How do we stay confident when we're going through our most awkward stages in life?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let me hit you with some basketball stuff because I want to segue with that. Mike Tebow, I remember him telling me when he drafted you that he had gone to watch you like, I want to say like 11 times, 8 to 11 times, because he thought you could be like Tamika Catchings, like this quiet, relentless warrior. Mm-hmm. Where does your confidence come from on the court? You talk about building confidence.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is if I prepare well, like I have nothing to worry about when it comes to the game. Basketball is a game that ebbs and flows. It's an imperfect game. So you just really gotta allow your work to come out and allow yourself to feed off the people around you. I'm in a really good organization. I'm gonna keep saying it because I am. I think our coaches do a really good job of preparing us. And I think my teammates do a really good job of trying to figure out each other so that we can put each other in the best positions. And then on top of that, I've had some great vets and I got great people around me that have taught me not only how to prepare, but little tidbits here and there about the game. So my biggest thing for my confidence is how I prepare and the work that I put in, because that's the easy part. If you put in the work, it got to come out eventually.
I think I see you taking more ownership of your role on this team. You know, you talked about you've gone from standing in the corner, just being a shooter. Now I see you being more of a playmaker and being more versatile. How did you evolve this year?
I think my goal at the beginning of this year was to get to the rack more. Now that sounds funny because I feel like the last 3 games I've averaged like taking 9 threes. But my goal was to get to the rack more. And so when I was doing my off-season workouts, when I came back from Ukraine, that was the focus of everything. And I think that really opened up my game, allowed me to score at all 3 levels, gives my team a different look. Like when you have to guard me at all 3 levels, like life is different for our team. They can't just pick and choose which one they want to take away. So that's definitely helped me become more of a playmaker because it's allowed me to keep my eyes open and up, especially when I'm getting to the rack.
I don't want to call you a silent assassin because I think one of the most beautiful parts of your growth as a human is that you have found this voice that you have. Yeah. But what are you? Give me your nickname. If we got to call you something, what's your flashy? I
don't know. Like, I'm definitely not silent. I think that's the funny part. Because if you ask my parents, they're like, she doesn't shut up. So that's hilarious. I don't know. Like, I just like to get it done. Like, at the end of the day, I just want to be a winner. Like, that is my goal, is to win games and to win championships. Like, I'm super thankful for the individual accolades. But I do know at the end of the day, the thing that you remember the most are the people that you go on these journeys with. And I want to enjoy that. And I think over time, we've had some really good groups of people come through here. And I think if we continue to win, at the end of the day, we will, bring championships here in DC.
There is a championship caliber feeling about your franchise. I will say that. This team, the pieces are there and the feeling of greatness and people who want to be great is there, I feel.